Hey everyone, and welcome back to Space Engineers. While we're doing this introduction, you can see my character doing some cleaning up because he changed his mind again. Actually, I changed my mind because somebody was making a comment about having the living quarters on the bottom of the space station and the infrastructure, the industry on top of it. And that would allow for a nice view on the planet. So yeah, that was a good idea, and that is what we're going to do. So we're going to do some changes where everything that we wanted to have on the bottom, which is the industry, that is all going to go to the top. So once my little fellow is done with grinding everything down, we're going to kick it off and start on the top of it. All right, so the plan is to build my industry on top of the build. And what we're going to do here, what I'm for the moment thinking of doing, is we're going to keep this as a landing bay. For the moment, this might still change. We're going to come in here. There's going to be a corridor in here that leads to maybe an elevator, because I need to figure out how we're going to make this work. To here, that goes and brings us to the different levels on the space station. In here, we're going to have our conveyor systems in below, and then on top, we're going to have our containers and our hydrogen tanks. The next floor, we're going to have our refineries. The next floor, maybe we put our refineries and assemblers on the same thing. But before we do that, what we might have to do is move what we have in here over to the new locations. So I'm going to build a conveyor right here. Let me think. Yep, I'm going to build a conveyor here. We're going to build a conveyor here. Are we going to build a conveyor there? Or do we want to have the tanks more No, I think that's okay. Can make our curve. So yeah, conveyors here, conveyor here, conveyor here. We can now grind away that projector. And we're going to weld up these conveyors. There we go. So that's going to be our conveyors. On those conveyors, we're going to build our tanks. Now, my plan was to have my docking ship on that side, because that also is I think it's nice to have your ship like with the view there. So that's going to be the plan. We're going to have our docking ship here. So I think we're going to put our hydrogen tanks here. No, we're going to put our containers here and here. Okay. So we're going to have our container here on that one. Like this. We're going to have a container like that here. And then here we're going to have our hydrogen tanks. So if I have the tanks in my list, I do. 3, we're going to put one hydrogen tank right here. And we're going to put a hydrogen tank right here. And now we need to weld these up. So that's going to be my 2 tanks. We're just going to link these up. Can I link them up from the bottom? No. So let's link them up from the top. Let me just put some quick conveyor pipe here. We can just do square. I'm going to remove them anyway. So one straight pipe. Then a T. Then straight. Straight. And an elbow and an elbow. That way I can then transfer over the hydrogen from these tanks in here already, and then I can remove the ones in the center. Right. Let's put you on stockpile. Let's put you on stockpile. There we go. So now these are going to empty my hydrogen tanks. Let me recharge. Now we're just going to weld up containers. So weld it up. Weld it up. Good. Here we're going to do the same. I don't know what I'm going to do with my reactor. Maybe we should put our reactor on the bottom for the moment. And the same with the oxygen tank. So let me just put an oxygen tank here. 3. Oxygen tank. No. Oxygen tank, please. Thank you. And then here we're going to put our reactor, which I don't know where we put it. 8. Just switched one. I'm going to do this on stockpile as well. That way we empty the tank right here. Then I can grind you down and weld up the one on the bottom. There we go. Now I'm going to turn you off because I don't want you to generate power yet until I really need it. There we go. So now the hydrogen tank here, hydrogen tank there, and cargo container has been emptied, which is good. The only problem is now that how all our refineries and assemblers are also connected to that. So what I might do before I grind everything away, we might have to think about a location of the next level. So let me think. I think we're going to put a cross section here. I have not really thought about coloring, but that's okay. And then on top here, we're going to put a conveyor. And then I think we're going to put a refinery. 7. Let me just check what the orientation is. So you can be here. Like that. And then you will be here, but I will need a conveyor here instead. So let me just put a temporary block here, and then we put the other refinery here. Now we can grind this away. And then this one is going to have to conveyor up here. So refineries, that's going to be the second floor. So this is going to be a gap where we're going to have some piping. If I want to do some visual piping or I want to pipe up to another point, I can do it. I can also close it off or replace it with just a straight pipe. This is going to be the floor where we walk up, and then also where conveyors are going to link up. And that is going to be the next floor. And then we can have a floor on top here. Maybe. Let me see. What I might do now is relink this now. And here we can now, for the moment, put a welder. So you're going to change this one here. And then I'm going to put the modules we have here, which is seemingly 2 speed modules and 1 yield module. So yield, speed, power. Aha. Is this refinery still working? It is still working. I'm going to go into control panel. I'm going to turn this off. And let's recharge again. And let's grind you down and put you in here so the welder can take that and fix what I need there. There we go. This can now go to the large cargo container. And the other refinery, is it taking it? Not yet. But this refinery should be able to go now. There we go. So now this refinery is going to take over the job we had there. Now we need to put the assembler somewhere. Now I was thinking about putting the assembler on the second floor. So what I'm going to do for the moment, let's just put a conveyor. So now we have assembler, refinery, and now we can remove this one here. Let's put that all in the car container. Large cargo, cobalt goes in here. Alright, now we can remove this. Alright, And I think now we can take away everything in the middle. That we just need to link things up. So, can remove this. So now this container can go as well. This container can go. What we need to be careful of before we grind this away is making sure our solar tower does not get disconnected. So for the moment, I'm just going to put some floor in here. Like that. I'm going to weld this up as well, just to ensure that this is pretty solid. Alright, so this is going to be the floor of the refinery room. This is going to be the floor. Did I put this on the wrong height? Yeah, I did, but it doesn't matter. This is not going to stay. This floor is actually going to drop down. Yeah, well, maybe I should do this straight away so we don't make any mistakes. So let's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we can put that one underneath here. And then we can do the same here. 1, 2, 3. Now we can grind this away so that nothing is going in that inventory anymore when I'm dropping it in here. Alright. It does look like we did a little bit of a boo-boo with our ships. But that's okay. That's okay. That's only my ships have been turned off. Did this disconnect as well? This should be still powered, no? Let me just double check. Am I... Yeah, this is still powered. Then we can remove the hydrogen tanks. Because this is now... This pillar is now connected to that. This is connected to that. This is connected to that. So these are empty. There we go. Now we can remove all that and we can move this. Should we hang it on the bottom as well here for the moment? Maybe that's a good idea. I think we just moved everything to the top because we wanted to work on the bottom and now we're switching it around. So, connect. All right. So ships are now on the bottom. Everything is on the bottom actually, which should give us a little bit of working space. I think I might actually move this down here. So let me just, to be 100% sure, put a regular block here. That should... I just don't have steel plates, okay. So that should hold this container. And then I should be able... I mean, I'm pretty sure that there is other spots that's going to hold it up, but I just want to be 100% sure. And then we're going to grind this open and we're going to put another conveyor down here. There we go. And then we're going to connect this here onto that. I'm going to put another conveyor block on there and then merge block it onto that. Let me see. Alright, so I'm going to merge block this together, but I'm going to disconnect my ship as well. Because if I keep my ship here, I'm pretty sure this is going to smack through it when it merges. We already had experience with that, didn't we? So let's disconnect. Let me fly away. Let me get merge blocks. 1, 2. So if I put you here... What do you mean unable to place merge block? Okay, let me just do it like that then. That should work. Alright, so there's nothing anymore here that can... No, we should be safe if I weld this up. This is going to be a little bit of... Come on. I know you want to. There we go. So that's now merged up. This is now connected. I should now, if I jump in here, get refueled, except I don't get refueled for my hydrogen because my hydrogen tanks are still on restock or stockpile. So stockpile off. Stockpile off. All right. Let me just do this again. Let me just jump in and see if my hydrogen refuels. It doesn't. And you know why this is? Because I didn't connect it yet. The hydrogen is not connected to... never ending, guys. Never ending. All right. So let me just clear this up a little bit. So this is going to be our containers. This is going to be our hydrogen tanks. This is going to be our refineries. And on top are assemblers. I do think this is going to be very high to close off. So we'll have to think about this. What I would like to do here is, for the moment, bring a pipe over between all of these. Even if I'm not going to keep it, I just want these things to connect it so we can refuel wherever it's needed. There we go. So now this is linked up and we should be able to recharge our hydrogen in my cryopod or my survival kit. So we're going to be building a pretty large ship. That's the aim. I don't know how it's going to end up. I have no idea what the ship is going to look like, but I'm definitely going to be needing a lot of materials. One of that will be heavy armor. So what I'm thinking is to actually build 4 refineries, because we will need to refine quite a lot. So I'm going to build 2 more refineries here as well. Now, I'm not going to put the materials in there yet. I'm not going to weld it up yet, but I do know that is where I want to place it. So we're going to walk in here. This is going to be a corridor, which is going to lead to a central room with an elevator. So a lot of this we can fill up. So let me just build some corridors to see what is the look of this. So the first one will be, let's see, I do have some passageways here, 7. We have the corridor with the new corridors. We have corridor with light. Like that. So we're going to have, get me some resources again. So we're going to have a corridor with light. Then a regular corridor. I always seem to... Okay. Regular corridor, corridor light. Alright. On the other hand, we don't really need to close this off. We just need to make sure that it is walkable. Right. What if we... So this was this light? What was this? Was this a regular... No, corridor light. So what if we grind this away? And we keep corridor light and we grind this away. Then we can put windows in here, which allows us to look that direction. Or do we do corridor light here? I still don't know what's going to happen here. All right, let me do it differently. Let me do 7. Corridor light here. Corridor light here. Like that. And then we put a 7. Corridor windowed double sides. Like that. Then we have a window that looks out. And we could put O2 generators here. And maybe also O2 tanks. An O2 tank here and an O2 tank here. And we do the same on that side. Not an O2 tank, O2 generators. One here and one here. And then these change to pipes. Because that is going to give it a much more industrial look. You guys are still all connected, so I'm just going to do one by one to be sure. Let me get the pipe out. I'm going to take the 8, what is this? 8 ways? 6 ways? 6 ways. Like that. And then we can put a T here. Like that. Or even an elbow, because I don't know. It might just be an elbow. An elbow here and an elbow like that. This is going to change, of course. Elbow here. Elbow here. And then this is going to become that 4-way pipe again. 6-way. Like that. Alright, so let's say we walk in here. Then we see it kind of like industrial. We could put a pipe there or a block, I don't know. And then we could put like an intersection here that allows us just to go to left and right, and this is like the maintenance areas. We don't need to be connected here, no? So what we might actually do here, this doesn't need to be a ring.
Energy low.
This could be just interior blocks. Do we put like the... You know what I could put instead? Because I do like the new... these look good as well, and we could do it like that. That would actually look pretty cool here. So we could put one like this and one like that, and then we put windows here. And then these become these insets. And then we need a straight one. We could actually put one with lights in there. Like this and like that. Alright, so let's try this now. So we come in here. We can look inside the corridor. So we see like, oh, there's some industry going there. We can see our O2 generators. We can walk in here. We can walk in here and then do any repairs if it's necessary. This leads to the elevators. I'm still not sure what we're going to do with the landing bay, because it feels weird to have a landing bay and access the maintenance. I don't know. Alright, so oxygen tanks and refineries, oxygen tanks and O2 generators have been welded up. These should now serve, first of all, as a good foundation for our corridors. We could even put a corridor in between here. It links up to these. Maybe. Anyway, this is a initial plan. The next thing I want to do is focus on the layout of the walls. And what I'm thinking of doing is just building this section up, create what I think would be nice, and then when I'm happy with the look of it, just use a projector and rotate it around the core, the center here, and then re-weld it every time on every corner without me having to figure it out on every corner as well. And what I'm thinking, let's see, first of all, I think we're going to go for plastic. So let me just color all these in plastic. I just like the look of the plastic. I think it's one of the better textures for sure. I wish there were more styles for this, but okay, it is what it is. Alright, so plastic it is. Now I'm gonna do the gray of this, and I'm gonna make this in plastic as well. And I need steel plates. start with this. Should we do like 1, 2, 3 high? Follow that. Then jump in. Then we have enough to fill up the floor. All right, let us start with just the foundation of this. So and we do the same on this side. So 1 full block. Yeah. Then you do this. And then you fill this. Right, let me just weld up this first row here just to see how this looks. All right, this is too repetitive. I've been using this one quite a lot on the when I was building the mall, and I have to say I kind of liked the look of it because it makes a little bit of a gap while still closing it off, if it makes sense. That's a good interruption, though I'm not sure if I'm okay with the top part. And I don't think we need to repeat this because if I do this there, it's going to be too much. And I cannot put that here because that's a full block. What if I do ramp? I don't know who I saw doing this, but I really like that look of it because it actually fills up that gap perfectly. Because that completely changes the design. I don't like the connection to that though. Maybe we should do something similar. There. Let me see. 2 in gray. I kind of like it. I don't like the connection to this.
Energy low.
Maybe. I think that's not bad. That also creates a different... It doesn't make it smooth. It gives that little bump. 9. Let's take the same color here. Let's play around with that a bit. I think what we could do here on top is now go to a regular block. And instead of making the... I think we can just follow a triangle. And I think that's not bad because that gives a little bit of an extra protrusion. Is that the word we're looking for? Yeah, we're going to have to do the same. We're going to have to put these there. Yeah, I like that. I wonder if we could use... Could add some extra color to that. The white, that's not bad. Alright, I'm gonna do the same on this side. And then we can work on the top section. All right, I think I'm happy with this. So what did I do? Like I said, I would copy this over, so I did. What I did as well here, I changed the color of these here, and I gave them the what is it, carbon? I think it's carbon. To just give it a little bit of detail because they were too much in a row. So with breaking it, I think it just looks better. So the next thing we're gonna have to do is now work on the top level. Another thing I did is I dropped down this corridor because otherwise we won't be able to close off the ceiling or the floor because of how we have this here working with this angle. So I dropped this down, which probably means I will have to drop this whole thing one step down here. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to build the angle how I like it. Once I'm happy, we're going to disconnect it, then blueprint it, then we can grind it all away, and then rebuild it in the right position. Because I think I want this yellow line to be here on the same length of this, right? And then the white line is the first one, and then we can just copy this thing to the bottom. At least so we have this line and that line the same, and then we can do an alternate changing. We can do another angle here, a different look than the top side. What else did I do? I just colored the pipes a bit. I colored everything in the plastic right now, so everything looks a little bit more like, you know, I don't know what the word is, the same. So what I want to do right now is build up this right here, but I want to keep this depth. So if I where is my there it is. Okay, so I want to do this. Need some steel plates, so let's do that. Should be enough to start with. Like that, and then we can do a small angle like that. And then I think we can do all of these like this, and then we can put our regular corner here. This becomes again our this one and a small one. I got this rotation. Okay, rotating can really start messing me up sometimes. So let me just weld this up so we have a bit of an idea how this looks. I kind of like it. The only problem I have is this right here. I don't like this. And of course, we're going to have to... There's going to be a block in here. Like that and that, which will close off that lip. So this looks nice and clean. Okay, alright. I don't like this. If we would... do... Then we put a angle like that. This is a bit too much now. I don't think I want to put yellow here. I think I want to keep the yellow very minimal because it's a very bright color. So I think I want to go for gray, white with accents of yellow. But I kind of want to have this breaking away, but I do like the bump it makes here. Now, this is going to be a little bit more expensive, and I'm pretty sure Akini is going to like this because But we have to agree with the fact that heavy armor has much better design than the regular armor. So let's see how does this look. I don't need to put metal grid in it for now. Just need steel plates. Yeah, I think that actually gives it much more life. I'm a little bit annoyed with that. But on the other hand, it does break it. I wonder if I should make this heavy armor as well, just to get this to merge together. So this is going to be expensive. That means I'm going to have to do a lot of going and grinding. Yeah, maybe. Because we cannot change this anyway. This is not going anywhere, sadly enough. This is now annoying. This is going to be a lot of heavy armor. I'm not sure if I'm happy with using that much heavy armor. Alright, let me just... I think I don't want to be constantly stepping in, so I'm gonna copy this over for 2 layers, maybe. Yeah, let me copy this over for 2 layers, see how this looks, and then I'll come back with you. All right, so this is with the heavy armor on top. I didn't weld in any metal grids, which is not important right now because this has to go anywhere. But I have to say I kind of like this. This looks pretty cool. This is going to be pretty nice on the other sides as well. If we add some lights or whatever, we need to figure out because these are weird angles. I think we could put a light here and just shift this whole block a little bit deeper. So what is going to happen right now is I'm going to have to grind everything away here. All these circles, I'm going to grind this away. I'm going to have to disconnect this whole circle, because that is going to have to drop as well. Because this has to be part of the walkway towards the... I still don't know. What I'm going to do, probably, I'm just going to cut it away, make sure I have enough space to work, and we're going to work on the centerpiece first. Honestly, I might remove the whole ring. I'm going to blueprint the space station. Then I'm going to grind away the whole ring on the outside with the landing pads. Then I'm going to disconnect this part from the base, like that, so I can blueprint this, and then I can put a projector in the center there and rotate this piece on each of the 4 corners and weld them on the proper distance, which is on this height. So this yellow line has to be here. I'm going to need a lot of cobalt. So what I'm going to do, I am going to build a second refinery, fix all this up, and maybe build a second assembler. Then jump into my miner and go and get a whole bunch of cobalt. Most of this I'm just going to do off recording. There's no need to show you this again. But once I'm starting to build on this, on the outside, I will put a time lapse so you can see the whole thing grow. So for you, the next thing you're going to see is the time lapse. So see you after the time lapse. thinking of doing here is putting my assemblers in this section here. So if I would, let me see if I can color this. Let's make this red again. Put my assembler in the center, and then the 4 modules like we have around here. Then it's going to keep the access to the port, and it closes off this section pretty well. Because most of this, what we have here, is going to be, you know, this is pretty much wasted space anyway. So we could do this on all 4 sides, and then put our assemblers here, and that should allow me to conveyor this up. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to leave it for the moment like it is, but I'm going to put my assemblers in these sections up here. That is going to allow me to make this shorter and then go closer quicker. Yeah. All right. I'm going to weld this up. Then I'm going to project my space station once again. I'm just going to copy this over to the other side so I can just weld up the same, what you call this, hull on the other side as well. All right, I'm gonna have to call it here because I'm out of iron. That means I'm gonna have to do a lot of mining to get that back on track and have some resources. So where we'll leave this off for the moment is we close off the bottom, which is this is gonna be the ceiling where we're gonna have the living areas, living quarters. I decided to go for white, so at least it looks like the, you know, the clean area. We'll see if I change this or not, but that's the idea I have for the moment. I need to change that one still. Then we will have our first corridor here, which is going to give access, if we look through the windows, to our oxygen tanks, left and right. And then we will be able to go through the door, and if we need to repair anything, we will be able to do so. Left and right. And then we will have here the elevator shaft, which I still need to figure out how I'm going to do this. So that's going to be another thing I need to figure out. So this one and this one is a mirror. That means that if you look here, you will see these also have oxygen tanks. Oxygen generators. There's an oxygen tank here, 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 and here. And you know what I might do? I might actually rotate these so oxygen is actually showing here, because I don't think we see it here. No. Alright. So I might actually rotate that so oxygen is visible on that side instead. Yeah. And then in these rooms, I left these open for the moment because what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put pipes here. And then 2 conveyors here where we're able to put the warfare reactors, not the warp reactors. What do they call them again? What is the name of these reactors? 8 small wharf reactors. Yeah, I'm going to put these here. Yeah, these I'm going to put here. What I could do, I could put them here instead, all like 3 next to each other, and then we can put batteries behind that. That might be a good idea. So batteries behind it, and then we could, if I do put 2 batteries here, and then put a warfare reactor here and here, like on that corner, I will have a bit of a room to walk in. Yeah. So I can also fix the batteries if necessary, or look at the batteries if necessary. Yeah. Anyway, that's for next episode. So yeah, this is the first floor. Then we have the second floor where we have our cargo containers and our hydrogen tank, which all are piped up. I still need to add some. I still need to add some lids on this so it's closed off. And then we have another pipe here that goes up here that is going to link to my assemblers up there. So now we got our assemblers here and our refiners on the same height. And then here we're going to have another floor. And I think on the top here we might just have some extra things, but I don't think we will have an axis here. What I might do, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. If we're going to put the elevator with the, because it's going to need a lot of piston. If the piston is going to start from the bottom and push it up or upside, I don't know. We'll see. But this is where we're going to call it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and enjoyed the time lapses. And yeah, while I have a little bit of a break, I will do a lot of mining, get iron, uranium, silver, all that. We're just going to mine it all, store it into the refiners, in the cargo containers, and these refiners will be able to do all that. I think we now just finished our cobalt. We did. All right. So anyway, guys, thanks so much all for joining. Hope to see you next time. Beeblebum out.